guess which place is the psychopath capital of the United States according to science? Now, according to Weird AF News, the answer is Florida, of course. Maybe even according to science, it's Florida. It should be according to the, whatever police agency governs the country. All those stats coming from Florida are bananas as far as arrests and criminals and all that crazy shit. But no, it's not Florida. I know you were expecting it to be Florida, because when I saw this I thought Florida. I said it's really gotta be Florida. How could it not fucking be Florida? And of course it's not. It takes a particular kind of person to succeed in politics, but the psychological traits that make for leadership material could be more extreme than anybody ever realized. What are you saying? Our politicians are psychos? I buy that as well. A first-of-its-kind analysis ranking state-level estimates of psychopathy across the continental United States and the District of Columbia has found Washington, D.C. has the highest concentration of psychopaths in the entire country. Well, I'm kind of not surprised about that. I don't know, Washington, D.C.'s popped up on the list of, over-the-top crime rates, in the past couple decades, so... but I really was banking on Florida. I really was. If you've heard the stories I've done out of Florida, it's just, you gotta wonder, where are these people getting their brains? So now this study is from economist Ryan Murphy at the Southern Methodist University, builds off existing research that looked at how the so-called Big Five personality traits are spread across U.S. states based on personality, the cult of personality, samples of almost 1.6 million people. These traits are extroversion, neuroticism, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness to experience. And these are used by researchers to help explain the psychological motivations behind people's behavior, but some researchers think they also correspond to what makes people psychopaths. While some definitions of psychopaths classify the condition as being binary, either you have it or you don't, other systems define it more like a spectrum, made up of variable levels of traits such as disinhibition, boldness, and meanness. I agree with the latter. I think it's a spectrum. I think we're talking about levels of psychopathy, I know some people who have who are on the autistic spectrum that they're not quite psychopaths, but they definitely are kind of sociopaths. They do not operate well in social situations, and I think we're talking about a whole entire spectrum of mental illness here. It's not either or. It's not you have it or you don't. There's levels of this shit, and you can see Florida is like way up here, and perhaps my state, Massachusetts, where most people are fairly reasonable, is like over here. Our accents are psychotic, but other than that, we're fantastic people. We're pretty crazy about our sports teams. We'll murder you over that stuff, but other than that, we're just marvelous people. So anyways, were you surprised about this, the Washington, D.C.? I was. It took me by surprise. Any of my fellow weirdos living in Washington, D.C.? And want to weigh in on this, and maybe you have an argument against this, or maybe you have some evidence on why Washington, D.C. is filled with more psychopaths than any other place. I want to hear some of your weird stories that you have coming out of D.C., because I really don't come across them too much. Yes, well, we're bringing you science, we're bringing you data, we're bringing you sociology, we're bringing you weird shit, because this is Weird AF News, and this is Jonesy. Oh.